There's magic in the backyard. Go and find it.
We'll head around to all the towns, head away, holiday. South Aussie with Cosi's on sit down. South Aussie with Cosi. In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday. South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
G'day and welcome to another episode of South Aussie with Cosi. We are here in a little town called Waikerie. What region's that? The Riverland. On South Aussie with Cosi, it's all about showing you guys you can actually do affordable holidays with the family like we're doing here, big road trips, and it doesn't have to cost the earth. I say to people, just be careful you're not that busy making a living that you actually forget to make a life, and I think that's really important. We have got a massive show on the way, so let's see what it's about. We'll be relaxing in the Riverland at Renmark's Ruston's Roses. There's a few R's for you. I'll show you an awesome accommodation right on the river, and we'll also find out why this kid's got a pancake on his head. But first, let's learn about some of Adelaide's Aboriginal heritage. Over 40,000 years ago, the Aboriginal Kaurna people settled the area of Adelaide Plains, calling it Tandanya, which means place of the red kangaroo. Nowadays, the city of Adelaide is scattered with loads of Aboriginal attractions that you can visit for free. Give me a couple of minutes, I'll show you where they are and where you should be heading.
First of all, I want to talk about the Aboriginal flag. In 1971, it was planted here by Harold Thomas, who designed it. It is now a national flag in relation to the Aboriginal community. The red symbolise the blood that the Aboriginal people had gone through over the years. The black is for the earth. We see the earth as our mother, Mother Earth, and the sun is for the brightness and giving us hope for the future.
One great resource is the Aboriginal Attractions Guide that you can download from the City of Adelaide website. The other great one is you can purchase from the museum retail shop is the Kaurna Walking Trail Guide. This highlights some of the significant sites within the city area around the Torrens and even give you a history about Victoria Square.
The local Aboriginals relied heavily on the River Torrens for water and, of course, food. But when the Europeans arrived, the River Torrens changed as it became heavily polluted with effluent. Typhoid and other major diseases devastated the Kaurna population. And in fact, by 1852, there were only 180 Aboriginals left here in Adelaide. Look, I've got to say, the tour of the Aboriginal sites around Adelaide has really opened my eyes to some of the things we have in this state that I didn't even know about. This, for example, Kate, where are we?
Well, actually, we're at the back of the Festival Theatre facing the Torrens River. And this is a beautiful mural painted by Trevor Nichols.
Yep.
And it's a great example of the different styles of Aboriginal art techniques that you find across the whole of Australia.
As people of Australia, come and have a look. Have a look at our culture, our heritage, our dream times.
How would you like to win $500 for doing next to nothing? Well, it's actually very easy. All you need to do is send me in your photos from when you've been holidaying around South Australia. Lou Brown, he did exactly that. He sent these photos in from when he went to the, ready? Yeah. When he went to the Renmark Hot Air Balloon Festival right here in the Riverland. Whee! Here's a good tip. Keep your eye out for regional events like the Balloon Festival here in Renmark. It's a great reason to book that weekend away. Len reckons it's one of the best weekends of the year. You can relax by the river, check out the balloons, and even do a spot of fishing. Cheers for the photo, Lenny boy. You're now in the draw for $500 cash. That's all thanks to Adelaide Arcade.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
Well, this is super exciting because we are about to kick off the Bernie Lewis Challenge. There's a little harper here. This is my goddaughter. It's her first regional trip around South Australia. Dummy in, that's a little bit happier. Look, we're about to kick off the Bernie Lewis Challenge. Bernie Lewis is a great South Australian company that, like me, are really focused on people's budget and really interested in saving everyone money. So what we're going to do is the Bernie Lewis $350 Challenge. We'll spend 2 days and 1 night in the Riverland with the entire family and not spend more than $350. That includes accommodation, food, petrol, the works. It's pretty exciting stuff, so I'll handball Harper over to Godmummy and we'll get cracking. If you're not familiar with the area, then the first stop's got to be the Visitor Info Centre in Renmark, located right on the river.
There's loads of things to do for free in the Riverland, especially if you have children. Some of the things that I would like to do would be to have a picnic by the lock. Here in Renmark we have a fantastic lock at Lock 5. Great picnic facilities, barbecue facilities. I would then probably venture on to somewhere like Burt Dix Park, and about 2 o'clock the bridge raises. So watching the historic Pringa Bridge lift is something a little bit unique for families and for children to see.
Over the years, I think I've more than enough proved my love for bakeries right here in South Australia. So much so that, in fact, I put on that much weight because of bakeries. I ended up on The Biggest Loser. It's sad but true, that one. Well over 140 kilos. Anyway, there is one bakery that you cannot pass when you come to the Riverland, despite your weight, and that is the Waikerie Bakery. And I can promise you, the food in here tastes as good as the name. Hey, here's a random fact for you. I used to actually go out with the cousin of the bloke that owns the Waikerie Bakery. Should have stayed with her. This food is awesome. We're here in the main street of Waikerie, which is famous for being which Adelaide Crows legend's hometown? Mark Rasciuto, that's a no-brainer. We're at the front of ChemPlus. Now, ChemPlus, just like me, are really passionate about South Australians and keeping you guys fit, healthy and active and exploring South Australia. Do you know they're the only South Australian community-based pharmacy group, and they're always, like me, saying take the time to smell the roses. That's exactly what we're going to do next. You know, when I was a kid, my mum and dad always used to take us for family outings to the plant nurseries that were around our area. It was awesome, and the thing for us is it's really, really cheap as well. So I don't know if families are doing it nowadays, so I thought I'd bring you here. This place is Ruston Roses. It's huge. They've got 4,000 varieties of roses, and believe it or not, do you know how many plants they've got? 40,000! So we're going to go and check it out.
The history of roses goes back for centuries. Most of the roses came out of the Northern Hemisphere. Obviously there's been a lot of roses bred over the years from those early roses that came out. In fact, here at the Rose Garden in Renmark, we've got some of the oldest roses you'll see in the world. In fact, we've got some varieties of roses that you won't see anywhere else in the world. Renmark's one of the best places in the world for growing roses. Our climate is almost perfect, and for someone wanting to come and have a look at roses, well, the season starts late September, October, when it's brilliant. The garden looks its best, but it goes right through to May, and if the year carries on, you'll still see some here in June. We've got a fully set up restaurant here, we've got a cafe.
This was the perfect spot to stop for lunch with the kids. It's not one of those la-di-da restaurants. It's one of those that you can really, as a parent, kind of sit back and relax and not have to fear the kids are going to destroy something of value that's only going to add to your bill. Hey, Jane, look over there. Check that out. Oh, there's nothing that's gone, mate. It's gone.
When we first bought the Rose Garden, we noticed that primarily there were women coming. The men would sit in the car. I've been collecting cars all my life. In fact, my first car is on display here. So we thought, well, there's got to be something for the blokes, and they can buy a beer here if they want to. The Riverland's biggest event a year is the annual Rose Festival, which is in the 3rd week of October. It's the 18th year this year coming up. It's grown to be taking in all of the towns of the Riverland, and each year it continues to grow from what used to be a small event that started here at the Rose Garden. It's now encompassed the whole of the Riverland, and there's music with it, there's dining experiences, there's open gardens, car rallies, It's become a huge event and it brings people from all over the world.
As far as a tourist attraction or a destination, I couldn't be more chuffed with this place. Ruston Roses, mate, you've nailed it. I'm going to get you to finish though with a couple of rose tips for people that are growing roses at home.
Roses are a lot easier to grow than a lot of people imagine.
Yep.
They don't need anywhere near the water that people put onto them.
Right.
You need mulching and all that.
And a bit of sea soil, you were saying?
Sea soil has been one of the magic things for us. It's made a huge difference to the garden and the health of the bushes.
This is a sentence that I never thought I'd find myself saying. Hang around, folks, because coming up after the break, I'll introduce you to a guy that used to be the bouncer at the footy club, and nowadays he's in the Riverland making lavender soap.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
On South Aussie with Cosi, we know you love heading around on holidays in South Australia, but I bet you love it even more if the holidays were for free. We've got not one, not two, but 11 holidays within South Australia to give away. Would you like to win one? Well, it's really simple. Just jump on Facebook. You might be on your iPad or your iPhone right now. Click like on the South Aussie with Cosi page and enter. You could be heading somewhere like this. You could win yourself 4 nights accommodation at any Discovery holiday park in SA. There's 5 to choose from as well, including Clare, Lake Bonnie, Barmera, Robe, Whyalla Foreshore, and even one that's close to town, Adelaide Beachfront in Semaphore. You can discover South Australia all over again at a Discovery holiday park of your choice. You could be choosing whatever location you like and enjoying 4 free nights of accommodation. Have a look at this, it's beautiful, isn't it? This is what I guess any trip to the Riverland's all about, taking in the expanse of the mighty Murray. But you know what? During times of drought many moons ago, the mighty Murray was reduced to nothing more than a trickle. In fact, water got so low that the locals actually could walk most of the way across the Murray. I mean, have a look at these old photos. Take a look at that. Can you believe it? Well, that all changed, my friends, when the locks and weirs were built, and you're going to see loads of them anytime you come across the River Murray. The thing that blows me away about the Murray River is the history of water levels. You see pictures of the drought, which we just saw before, but then the flip side is the floods. Have a look at the level of the 56 floods, absolutely huge. The water came up to here. It absolutely smashed Renmark. Have a look at these photos here, and how's this poor bloke trying to get out the front gate of his house? You know, it really does make you think, and I guess reminds you of the power of the mighty Murray River. We're doing the Bernie Lewis Challenge, a short holiday to the Riverland for under $350 a family, and for us, that's only like $80 a head. So far, we've done Ruston's Roses, the Paringa Bridge, and now it's off to the Lavender Farm. I love any activity for children that keeps them outside, physically active and in a safe environment. And here at the Lavender Farm, believe it or not, they've got their own mini golf course, and that, my friends, ticks all the boxes. Well, let's talk lavender, mate. How long have you been doing this?
Lavender, about 7 years. We've been
Yep.
growing lavender here. The first year we started, we put in 2,200 plants, mainly intermediate lavender, and a few French lavender just for ornamental look.
You used to be a bouncer at, the Berry Footy Club or the Berry Hotel, and now you're making lavender soap. How is that transition even possible?
Well, I started in 1969.
Yeah.
I worked 42 years at Berry Hotel as security and bouncer. And we head off, my wife and I, towards Moonta a few years ago, and we saw a little lavender farm at the back there. My wife and I said, well, look, let's build something in the Riverland. And that's where it all started from.
People have been using lavender for ages for a variety of reasons.
It was used during the war through Hitler. He used lavender for his injured people for an antiseptic. It's excellent for calming if you got problems sleeping. It's wounds, if you got mosquito bites, you put a dash of that on your bite and almost drains out that ache almost instantly.
I love that. A bouncer, he says, I've had enough of the bouncing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into the lavender game, and you've been wearing purple ever since.
Yes, yeah.
I love the fact that you can just roll up here and have a look around for free. You can also grab yourself a coffee while you're here. The perfect way to start a day. I couldn't let the big fella go though without getting a tip on growing lavender in your own backyard.
Do not overwater. As they flower and the flower drops off, prune them and they'll stay nice and healthy. And use organic fertiliser or chook manure and so forth.
They call the Riverland the food bowl of South Australia, and it's easy to see why when you visit. Lots of roadside stalls with farmers and producers selling gear for really, really low prices. Here at the Lavender farm, for example, they're selling some of their produce. You get these, a massive one of these for $1 each. How much are you paying at the moment? That's a bargain. What would you say if I told you that the holiday house behind me only cost you as low as $35 a head per night? You'd almost fall over. You will fall over when I show you through it. We'll have a look next.
South Aussie with Cosi. South Aussie with Cosi.
I'd like to take the time to personally say g'day to all the South Aussie with Cosi Facebook friends. There's loads of them, and on the page you can win yourself one of 11 holidays that we've got to give away. Click like and enter. We also get lots of ideas for South Aussie with Cosi through Facebook, but we also did something very special the other day. I was up at the She-Oak Log Country Fair and I found this little guy. I was hosting up there and I found this little fella on the ground. I call him Pinky, I didn't know his real name. So I did a call out on the PA, no one claimed poor little Pinky. So when I got home, I put a photo of Pinky on the South Aussie with Cosi page. It got shared over 1,000 times and over 100,000 people saw little Pinky and that post. Before you know it, we reunited little Pinky with little baby Moran from Gawler. So to all the South Aussie with Cosi Facebook friends, it's a big thumbs up from me and Pinky. Now, just to refresh your memory, we are doing the Bernie Lewis $350 challenge. I'm showing you how to spend 2 days and 1 night in the Riverland and not spend more than $350 for the family. Now, there's 5 in our family, so you're looking at about $75 for the whole family, including her, and he's not as. Now, I have found what I believe, and this is a big statement, could possibly be the best holiday accommodation ever. It is so cool. Wait till you see this place.
We're 20 k's out of Renmark in the mighty Riverland. We accommodate for 14 people. It's beautiful here, as you can probably see around you, and there's plenty to do. You can just sit and relax, chill out, go fishing. We're right on the river, and it's just marvellous. It's a 6-bedroom house, so 12 comfortable accommodations. We've got 2 king-size beds, 2 queens and singles, and we've got a couple of portable beds to accommodate the extra guests to make the 14. You don't have to worry about neighbours. There's plenty of space around. You can just let yourself loose and have a good time. We've got a barbecue area out here, patio there. We've got table seating for 14 people, barbecue, so all you want is just sitting there waiting for you.
I've never seen any accommodation that has this little feature. Here they've got their own orchard where you can actually come back and pick apples, oranges, there's mandarins. It is unbelievable. And the fact, when you think about it, the price of fruit, you can grab heaps of fruit while you're staying here, and they said you can even take some home. How good's this, kids? Mandarins are down there.
Just come along, the linen's supplied, everything's supplied, so all you got to do is just bring your food and relax.
You know, I say this all the time, holidaying in South Australia can be really, really cheap. Templeton on the Murray, well, that's where we stayed. We had 3 families staying there. The cost was $140 a family per night. Our family's share was under $30 a head. We picked fruit from their orchard to eat on the weekend. We also took some home, like about $35 worth as well. A visit to the Lavender farm, well, that was free. A couple of games of mini golf for the kids is next to nothing there as well. That's a bargain. Ruston's Roses, totally free. Lunch and dinners while we're away cost $115 a family. Petrol, $70, and that's $325 for the 5 of us, and that's 2 days and 1 night away, only $65 a head. You know, you don't need a reason to celebrate time away with family or friends. The weekend we were away, we got the kids and celebrated a birthday party for nobody, including sparklers, party poppers. We even sang the song. Happy birthday to nobody. Happy birthday to nobody. Happy birthday, dear nobody. I've called this my favourite accommodation I've featured on South Aussie with Cosi so far. But why do I love it so much? Is it because of the 6 massive bedrooms? Is it because of all the space for the kids? Is it because it's so affordable? Well, I can tell you, it's none of them. It is the fact that this little place here, my friends, is located within walking distance to, wait for it, its own brewery. Yes!
She wakes up this Sunday morning.
That's right, a short walk and you're at the beautiful Waikerie Brewery located right on the river.
Gonna be shining for you.
Well, this has got to be the perfect spot to let the camera crew knock off for the day. I reckon I might hang around a couple of hours, maybe till 3 a.m. We'll see what happens. Look, what I'm urging you all to do is set your clock to river time. Here in the Riverland, things move totally different. You eat when you want, you sleep when you want, you drink when you want. That's about as complicated as your itinerary is going to get. So if you've got any questions about the Riverland, just ask me on Facebook. Like South Aussie with Cosi, and not only could you win one of 11 SA holidays we've got to give away, but I'll answer any of your questions as well. We'll see you next time. Go and book a holiday. See ya.
In South Australia we will go, head away, holiday. South Australia all the way, South Aussie with Cosi.
South Aussie with Cosi is proudly brought to you by the South Australian Tourism Commission.
South Aussie with Cosi.
I like possums.